Alright guys, my name is Seven and I have a 2010 Honda Fit that is powered by Zage Turbo Kit. Okay, with the Zage Turbo Kit, I also added fuel injectors, a fuel pump, different spark plugs, all that, so it can like get a little bit more power. The Zage Turbo Kit has everything you need, from the turbo to the pipings to the intercooler, oil feed line, and oil drain line. There's a few problems that I had with it. The oil drain, once I put it down, it was hitting the heat shield off the axle. So I had to tilt that out so it can be pointing away from the heat shield. So I know you guys can't see it. I'll probably show photos of it. Had to point that out. Also, the first piping from the turbo going towards the intercooler, which is down this way, doesn't mount to anything. So what I did, I removed the heat shield to the car. There's like an edge on the heat shield that's like this, that's gonna scratch the piping. I hammered it down, trying to make it flat, then I grind it up to make it smooth. Then I electrical taped the piping, like a lot. So then I mounted the piping and the heat shield together. Yeah, I can't show you guys that. Also, for the next problem I had with the kit was the piping for the intake. The piping ends there, which you can't mount a filter or anything because it's hitting stuff. So what I did, I had to indent intake. So I cut the silicone at a 90 degree, cut that up, silicone that, so I can point it out the car this way. The Zage kit also came with a mushroom filter, which I am not using because I don't know, to me I just feel weird about mushroom filters. But yeah, right here they gave me a stock the blow-off valve they gave me wasn't working correctly because I will always get flutter, so I had to buy this cheap knockoff of the HKS, which works a lot better than the kit they gave me. It was only 40 bucks off Amazon, so works good enough for me. The Zage Turbo Kit also didn't have coolant lines, coolant fittings or anything, so I had to buy AN fittings, get new hoses so it can have coolant lines to it. I asked them about the coolant lines. Zage said this turbo doesn't have coolant. What? I don't get it. Turbo didn't need coolant lines. It's just oil. Yeah, so with Zage, I didn't have to run it, but I still wanted to run it anyway just to be safe. Alright, there's one more problem that I had with the Zage kit. The intercooler didn't have any brackets to it. The intercooler was supposed to mount on the car. It didn't mount on the car, nothing fits, so we had to make our own brackets. So what we did here, at the top, you guys probably saw it in the other video. There we made a bracket to that to connect to the reinforced bar, and we did the same thing for the bottom, but you can't really tell. But the brackets for the bottom is like a Z, like that. Well, 1, 2, 3, so it can connect to the holes on the bottom. But it's simple stuff. Just bend some metal, drill some holes, and click, click, clack, boom. You're good. All right, for injectors, I'm running 4 10cc injectors, which is RDX injectors. If you get the RDX injectors, right, you're gonna need to get an adapter. This is the adapter to the stock fit harness. Oh, that's hot. To the stock fit injectors. So you need to get adapters for the injectors to the stock fit plugs. Alright, so for the fuel pump, I'm using a 265 LPH, which is liter per hour. Right, 10 liters per hour. The sending unit itself can fit in the car, but the tabs that's holding it in, that's directly on top of the sending unit, you have to chop off the sides. I'll try to post up a picture of it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can get the same one I get. You just have to cut off the sides so you can fit in, and that works just fine. All right. With the Zage Turbo Kit, they give you a 7 psi wastegate that only basically, you know, opens up at 7 psi. Okay, if you're thinking about how I drain the oil and where I put it at, Zage Kit, they give you a little, what's that shit called? An L tube. Okay, for the oil drain, it had a 90-degree barb fitting on it. So the 90-degree barb fitting. So all I really did was connect it to the oil drain plugs, made it tight, then plug in the drain line over it. That's it. I didn't have to drill a hole. Maybe I should have drilled a hole, but I'm waiting to see how that works with this car. If it's really that bad, I guess I will have to drill a hole, but just really testing it out to see if it works or not. I got this car tuned at 8, and no matter how low I go, it will always get to 8. It would kick in later, but it will always get to 8 no matter what PSI I do, like open up the flap a little bit and drive it. So what I had to do later, take the turbo back out, had to port it. You guys can figure out what porting is. You guys don't, there's other YouTube videos that you guys can see. I had to port the turbo, make the hole bigger. I got me a 4 PSI wastegate, so now right now I'm pushing 6 PSI. Alright, to tune the car for the ECU, I am using K-Tuner. K-Tuner is not a standalone. It just reprogram your stock ECU so you can read boosts. The K-Tuner for my car, K-Tuner said they couldn't. My car wasn't functional with all the features K-Tuner had. If it's from an 09 to 010, they have certain ECU numbers that are fully functional with everything, speed, density, and they can change everything on it. But my car was one of those cars that couldn't do it. Tuner said he couldn't tune it off the map sensor because it wasn't broken. I don't know, but he did tune it for the master flow sensor. But he also told me the first time he tuned my car doesn't know what to do after 6 PSI. So I still got it tuned at 8 PSI anyway. Alright, with the tune right now with K-Tuner, I am not running with VTEC. VTEC is off, boost is on. But if I run the car at 6, right now I'm running the car at 6 PSI. If I turn on VTEC, usually it's gonna jump up to like 8, 9, then yeah. I just want to keep it at 6 for now. 8 maybe when I want to have fun, just turn up the boost, but other than that, 6 is good enough for me. Why I boosted the fit? Because, you know, when you're driving on the highway, you're going slow. When you're not going slow, you're going slow because the person in front of you is going slow. Once that person in front of you see you switch lanes and they see you picking up, they're going to start to step on the gas too, so you can't pass them. So at that point, I just needed to pass people a lot easier on the highway, so that's why I got it. Alright, for me to read boost, I also installed 3 different gauges. I installed an air fuel ratio / boost gauge, which is also a fail-safe gauge. I also installed a oil temperature gauge and an oil pressure gauge. I didn't want to drill a hole in my car on my dash or anything, so I put it where the radio is at. So right now I had a double dent, now I don't have a double dent anymore, it's a single dent, but this is where I have the gauges. Right there. I didn't want to drill a hole up here, I didn't want to put it down here because that's where my phone is at, but there, that's where all the gauges are at. Yeah. Alright, the total cost. The total cost of turboing this bit alone was like around 4K. 4K because I wanted the gauges, I wanted the coolant lines, I wanted to do everything right. You can probably go cheaper if you just get an OBD2 and just connect it to your OBD Bluetooth thing, connect it to your car and just look through your gauges on your phone. You can also do that. But I wanted gauges there all the time. I wanted coolant lines. I had the custom brackets was simple, just straight up metal, and he had just the right stuff. So yeah, like you could probably get away with $3,000, but $4,000, that's how much it cost for me to boost the mines. Added oil cash can, just make it safe. I don't think you really need the fuel pump or injectors, but I just to make sure if you want more power, just get that anyway. Yeah, I think that's it. Work wheels. Alright, this is the car current miles right now. Let's see. Yep. So the car has been boosted for at least 12,000 miles, and so far it doesn't give me any problems. Quick start. But yeah, those are the gauges. These two are the cheapest. This is the one. There's also fail-safe, meaning if I push too much boost, it'll cut the fuel. So yeah. Alright, so when I got this tuned at 8 PSI, I had 186 horsepower and 161 torque. So imagine...
What RPM?
What RPM? God damn. So if you guys have any questions, I guess you can comment them down, put them, comment below, and I will also put I'm gonna try to put the links of all the products that I use in the description below. Alright, if you guys have any questions, just comment them below. I don't care if you subscribe, just hopefully this video was helpful to you. Yada yada yada. Tada tada tada.